Hi lovelies, it's Kitty, and today we're going to answer some, I guess, witchy questions, but they're more like tarot questions. They're witchy tarot questions, witchy tarot asks, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. Well, we're going to answer 10 of those, and yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's pretty warm, and there's construction going on outside, so forgive me. But let's get right into it. Okay, so petal card number 1 is, there's 4 questions on each card except for the last card, which only has 2, and there's 3 petal cards, so you know, you put that together. 10 questions. Okay, question number 1. What tools do you always have during readings? Okay, usually I have my charging crystals, which are on my tarot cards, and I usually involve them in my whole setup, and that's, so they're there, so the intent is always there, you know what I mean? And my tea light candles are a must. I have those to set the mood, to help me focus. They're always there. And obviously my personal intent is always there. Even if it's someone else's reading, I'm always like, okay, so I need my intent to connect with their intent to flow through these cards. So like those are my 3 top tools that I use during my readings. If you can count my intent as a tool, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna. Question number 2, do you rely on intuition or book knowledge for your reading? I honestly do a little bit of both. I basically I read the book or know the book or any of that, book knowledge, and then I use my intuition to interpret that book knowledge. Instead of just straight with the facts of what the book says, I'm not like, that's it. And I'm not like straight with my intuition where it's just what I think is it. It's both. I combine them both, and that's the answer for me. It just makes me feel more connected than just saying one or the other. Question number 3, has tarot nurtured growth in your life? How? It's starting to. I'm seeing changes, like, in a positive light. Like, a lot of things are happening that are making me feel more confident and happier since I started tarot. And I can actually say that I feel like as a witch, I'm growing in a path I never thought I'd go. Like, I'm growing in a path I never thought I'd go. It's just makes me feel really good. Question number 4. Do you always read with a set question and a spread? Honestly, usually I always have at least a tarot spread set out. Not always a question per se, but like usually it's both go hand in hand. And for others, I tend to have them at least have one question in mind when I'm doing the reading. But I have just pulled a random card, and that was like a daily draw type of thing. And that was what I went with for the day. And it's just random, like, just pulling a card. But usually I tend to have a set question or questions and a set spread. It's just me. And that is tarot card number 1. Throw that out. Well, not throw it. I save them, but no. I do. I'm weird. Question number 5. How important is meditation for you in your practice? Extremely important. I meditate before each reading. Even if it's just for 1 solid minute, I'm deep breathing and focusing on just the task at hand. Whereas if someone else is doing the reading, they don't always meditate. They're just like, oh, let me just pull the cards and that's it. I like to focus and really pull myself together for the reading. And I tend to also meditate after if it's a personal reading. If it's for other people, I don't always meditate after. I tend to like push them to kind of soak it in and meditate, so to speak. So that way they can really absorb what was said and what was read But it's just super important to me, like, to have that focus and clarity and calm mind in this aspect. And then question number 6, do you believe tarot can predict what's to come? That is a super complicated question. I believe that you know what could come, and you know what could be, could happen, could. But the cards piece it all together and pull it all together for you and show it to you in a light that you didn't think would happen. So, like, I think the cards don't predict the future. You don't predict the future, but you can predict the future together, if that makes sense. Because you're not really predicting the future either. You're just kind of predicting emotions and occurrences and stuff like that. It's not really like, oh, this is immediately going to happen in 10 minutes. It's not like that. It's more longevity. You know what I mean? Question number 7. How much do you let tarot reading affect decisions in your life? It usually depends on the reading, but I usually just use them as references, like guides to my day-to-day life and my future practices and all this nonsense. I usually just use it as a reference and not so much a decision maker. I don't really like it to choose what I'm doing. I like to choose my own things myself and have the tarot readings guide me towards that direction. But if I choose the other direction, there's no bad implications. Question number 8 is the final question on this petal card, and it is tarot decks you work with or tarot decks you want. So, right off the bat, I'm going to take my quartz crystal off this. It's crystal quartz. Why do I always say quartz crystal? Off my, oh goodness. Off my tarot deck. This is the very first one I got. And it's this homemade one I got from Etsy. Sorry, guys. And it kind of is just very vintagey, and it looks like this, and it has this, like, vintage effect to it. I don't know. I'm super obsessed with it, and it's probably my favorite deck in the entire deck history of decks. It's just the way it is. It's what I like. And I'll put that back. And yeah, like I said, it's a homemade deck. I got it from Etsy. It's just, it really spoke to me, so I like grabbed it and was like, this is it. This is mine. I'm getting it, and I bought it immediately that day. I had to. I was like, I see it. I need it. Got it. And then my second deck, which has a rough howlite, charging it, is The Secrets of the Necronomicon. Now, I know this can be a touchy subject. If I don't know. This deck really called to me too, and I had to get it. It has this, like, tentacle pattern on it. It's like Cthulhu. It reminds me of that. It's so cool. I love it. And, it looks like this. Has, like, all these beautiful imagery on it. Oh, some of it's inverted and some of it's upright and stuff. It's just the way decks are. But, I'm super obsessed with both of these decks, and they both are accurate and work so perfectly for me that every time someone's like, ooh, I don't like that deck, I'm like, well, I have another one. And if they don't like that deck either, then I need to get more. Which comes to the next part of the question, what ones do you want? I have been dying for the Cat Tarot deck. I don't even remember who it's by. I knew, if you asked me yesterday, I would have told you, but today it's just slipping my mind. And it's called Cat Tarot. That's literally all it is, and it's got this, like, really priestess-looking cat on it. Oh, it's such a gorgeous-looking deck, and it's been calling to me for so long, and I have not gotten it. Like, I don't know what's up with that. I just haven't gotten it, and I should. but I haven't, and that's pretty much the main deck that I want to get besides these two. I haven't really seen one that stood out to me since, so. Well, there was this Bad Omens deck that I wanted a while ago, but it was in a giveaway on Instagram, and I didn't win the giveaway. I don't know if there's any more, but I think it was a homemade deck as well. So I'm just gonna let it lay low, and maybe I'll find a new one. The last petal card. Last two questions. Number 9. How do you deliver difficult messages in your readings? Okay, so I guess it's hard to be blunt and tough. It's hard to be blunt with tough readings, but it's got to be done. Like, honesty and being upfront is best. I always sympathize and remind the one I'm doing the reading for that they can change what the cards say sometimes, but it'll always be okay no matter what, and you'll get through it. And if it's a good reading, it's what's more to say. And if it's a bad reading, if it's tough, it's difficult to convey, then you just gotta take it with a grain of salt and be like, you know what? That's okay. I'll get through this, and it'll be okay. And you just gotta really, like, I personally am just there for the person. If they want a reading and it comes out bad, I am just there for them, giving them some tea, giving them some water, whatever they need to just really help calm them down. And if it's an online reading, because I do those a lot, then I just use my words and tell them how much I will be there for them if they need me and all this stuff. And I'm honest. Just honest. That's all you can be. And question number 10 is, any advice for anyone following me on my tarot journey or starting their own tarot journey? So if you're following me, I need lots of support. I need you to come and maybe get a reading from me if you're interested. I need you to not put me down when I do my own personal readings. I need you to let me bring my cards if I have to, if I feel the need to, where I'm going. I bring them. I travel with them. And I need you to allow me to do that. And if you're starting your own journey, then all you have to do is really be confident. Like, the cards can sense your nerves, they can sense your fear, and I know that's a stupid thing to say, but they can. Like, you put your intent into those cards, and if you're afraid of what you're gonna pull something you don't want to pull. I've seen it firsthand from several people who have tried tarot and have not succeeded. So you have to be confident and positive in what you're doing, even if the reading comes out negative. As long as you yourself have put your positive intent in there, then that's the best you could have done, and that's going to be the accurate reading you got. I mean, in my personal opinion. It's not the same for everyone, but for me, that's how I view starting a new tarot journey. And, like, I was confident coming into this, and I haven't had, knock on wood, there's so much wood around, knock on wood, that I haven't had a bad non-accurate reading because of my confidence and positive intent. So, I mean, I'm sure I will. Not everyone gets 100% on everything, but right now, like, I just started a few months ago, and I'm just getting into it and stuff like that. It's not something I've been practicing for years, but I have been practicing for a little bit now, and it's really changed my life and my aspects on life. So, just be positive. Well, I did my best, and I hope you liked this video and it was informative, and that I did what I could to answer any questions that you had. If you didn't have any questions and I answered a bunch of questions that you didn't care for, I'm sorry, but I wanted to answer them. And I did. So I feel very good and very proud. And I hope that you have a wonderful day and everything is blessed and amazing because you're blessed and amazing.